Hello, I'm Robert Perkins, the Immigration Professor. We're going to do a video today on immigration based on marriage. This is part one of a two-part series. You can see all of my videos on my website, www.immigration-professor.com. Additionally, if you need help in your particular case, please call our office at 310-384-0200. We have offices in Illinois and California, and we service clients all around the United States all the time. So we're going to talk a little bit in this first part about processing a case in the United States where someone entered the United States legally. And you can have two situations when this happens. And one is where the person entered legally, but the visa may have expired. Or the second thing that could happen is that they are still legal. For example, the person could be a tourist or a student and still be in legal status. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about, in the second part, about what happens when the person is here illegally. So that's a topic for the second video in this series. So you meet somebody, you fall in love, you get married, but they're from another country. What do you do to process your case? How does the system work? Well, first of all, people get worried when they marry somebody that may be here on an expired visa. The good news for those people is that all the law requires is that when someone is immigrating based on marriage, is that the immigrant be inspected, admitted, or paroled. In other words, if that person entered legally, it doesn't matter if their visa expired. It doesn't matter if it's expired 6 months, 1 year, or 10 years. They can still process in the United States, no problem. The fact that their visa has expired is waived automatically by the fact that they are immigrating based on their marriage to a citizen. The other thing that's really nice is the law also excuses the fact that someone who's marrying a citizen may have worked illegally in the United States. So that person could actually disclose any work that they may have done in the United States, and it's not a problem. It's automatically waived by law. So these two types of cases are very similar. And what happens is immigration allows us to process the marriage petition, which is called an I-130, along with their application for the green card. There we go. My writing's a little off today, which is called an I-45. They allow us to do this at the same time. Now, one thing that our government is really concerned about is fake marriages. There's a lot of people in the past who have married somebody for papers, and actually this is against the criminal laws, and someone could get up to 5 years in prison or be fined up to $250,000 if they are marrying solely for papers. So in addition to immigration not necessarily approving the case, somebody could also go to jail. And in fact, sometimes immigration does prosecute people that do these things. So that's definitely something to be considered. So how do you show that your marriage is valid? How do you show that you married for love and not for papers? Well, immigration, in addition to them interviewing you, what happens is you file with your with immigration. There's two places that people file, one in Chicago, one in Phoenix. There's a P.O. box that you can get by looking at immigration's website. Their website is uscis.gov. So you go ahead and you file your petitions there, and then eventually you're scheduled for an interview at your local immigration office. And what they're looking for is they want to see evidence that you really live together. And the evidence can be a variety of things. Pictures, Particularly pictures of you and your spouse on different times, different dates, different places, things like that, that show, yes, you take vacations together, you celebrate important holidays together, things like that. They're looking for joint lease, joint bank accounts, insurance, showing each other as beneficiaries on life insurance or health insurance, or joint auto insurance. You may share a car together. So looking for a lot of different paperwork with both names that say, hey, these people really live together, they're sharing a home together, etc. So that's an important piece of information. Sometimes, by the way, one thing that sometimes happens is the couple gets married, they really live together, everything goes okay, and by the time of the interview, they may be separated, but not yet divorced. Immigration still may grant the marriage petition as long as the original marriage was entered into in good faith and the parties intended to live together as husband and wife. So as long as there's good intentions in the beginning, and you can show that and convince immigration of that, your petition may still be approved. So let's assume that you've gone to your marriage interview. And by the way, the interviews take different amounts of time depending upon where you are in the country. Currently, the average processing time for an immigration interview is around 6 months as we speak right now in December 2009. So you go to your interview, everything goes well. What happens is that immigration will give you a green card. It's called a conditional green card. And it is a 2-year green card. Okay. And what happens is so step 1 is you file the petition. Step 2 is the interview. At which you become a resident, green card holder. So let's say that's 6 months on the average. So you become a resident, and you then become a resident for 2 years. You get a 2-year green card. 90 days before your green card expires, you actually have to show immigration that in fact you have lived together as husband and wife. And you file another petition called a I-751. So it's kind of step 3. I'll put it down here. I-751. And that's to give you a permanent regular green card. And then, when you're married to a citizen, 1 year after you file that, in other words, 3 years from the time you become a resident, you can then apply to become a U.S. citizen. Additional information on different immigration topics is actually available on our website. It's www.immigrationprofessor.com. Or if you have questions or need representation in a case, no matter where you may be, please contact the law offices of Robert Perkins at 310-384-0200. Thank you very much.